Reconciliation Commission, a process that we would jointly establish with all of the stakeholders, so that various different student groups, not just the student group that that was leading the protest, but also other student groups and other staff groups. And we would establish an agenda, a scope for such an institutional reconciliation process. We would agree on panelists, and I will say we actually had already suggested 4 panelists on whom we had agreed, although it was necessary for other stakeholders, not part of that process, to be brought in order to agree on panelists. We had agreed on a time frame, and that we would start immediately this week with assembling the panelists and refining the scope of the terms of such an institutional reconciliation process. What we could not get agreement on was an acceptance that the campus should open in parallel with that process. In other words, that while establishing the Institutional Reconciliation Commission and while it was getting off the ground, that we should continue our classes. And the emphasis that I have been repeating over the week, which is that not completing the academic year is disastrous for everyone, disastrous for higher education, it's disastrous for this year's school leavers who want to come into university, and it's disastrous for the many students we have, the thousands, I would say the overwhelming majority, who wish to complete their degrees and wish to progress to the next year of study, and for whom this would be an extra year of expenses if they could not finish their study. All the other objectives of an Institutional Reconciliation Commission, in parallel with continuing our studies, did not get through. There are of course national issues such as the call for free education. That was not central to our discussions because I think that the students have accepted that that's not something that the university has control over, and so that can't be made a condition of opening the campus. We've made clear that we believe the process that the Minister and the President have embarked on is too slow. We've supported the call that should be concluded and resolved this year, before the end of 2016, so that the consequences for budgets